Hey, hi, hello. Welcome to Diana Emerson today. We're listening to This is Snapped. Okay, so this is Candy Joe Webb. And I'm eating.
A gruesome discovery in a local junkyard upends a small New Mexico town. The faceless small skeleton, the individual in the toolbox, had been deceased for a while. The pathologist was able to retrieve a small business card inside his shirt pocket. What was her name? He was described as a generous man. He just kind of kept to himself. Investigators steered in on a well-known troublemaker with family ties. He was a loose cannon. The reason why we're here, got a warrant for your arrest, okay? He was always getting into trouble with the law. Have you ever seen a big toolbox around property? But the investigation will ultimately expose an unimaginable betrayal even closer to home. His health was declining. She would help maintain. Could. She was supposed to be taking care of him. Maybe he got a snap at it over. No, it's not that the sun good. Sumner, New Mexico is a high desert town with deep western roots. It's where actually Billy the Kid supposedly is buried. It's a town for
Eddie. Okay, no. Everybody's not going to start talking. Get him.
His father Lewis and Chad's young son are poking around a makeshift dump site behind their rental home. Only a handful of individuals have access to that trash bin.
Oh boy, I can't do this now. Just gonna have to wait. Everybody go away.
He observed a toolbox or tool chest that looked really nice.
You're not gonna stand there and watch me.
Tool chest normally goes behind a pickup truck. They were like, wow.
I have something down there.
When Chad rose to lift the toolbox, it wouldn't budge. It was so heavy that he couldn't pull it out himself. So they ended up getting some straps and they pulled it out together. When they opened it up, there was blankets in there. When they were taking the blankets off, that's when they saw the skull. They were like, man, back up. We're dealing with something else here. Let's call 911. Police. Based off the decomposition of the body, the individual in the toolbox had been deceased for a while. Based off the facial hair, the clothing, it appeared to be a male. The skeleton may have had duct tape wrapped around his mouth. It also had duct tape wrapped around his wrist. As soon as I saw the tape, I knew at that point in time we're dealing with a homicide. The medical examiner is called to the scene to collect the remains. There wasn't any identification on him except there was a medical card. The pathologist was able to retrieve a small business card for a doctor's office with an appointment inside his shirt pocket with the name DJ Harden. The toolbox with the body inside was then transported to the office of medical examiner. We did not have a 100% confirmation, but we had a name. So we're trying to find out who the DJ Harden. Born April 2nd, 1938, A.J. Harden grew up in Fort Sumner. After a stint in the Navy, he married the love of his life, Virginia. It was your classic 1960s American marriage. They would take good care of each other. It was very loving. A.J. worked in the lumber industry, cutting branches. And after that, he was a truck driver. He worked across the country. They moved back to Wellington, Texas, where Virginia's family's from. They had 3 children, Shane, Tommy, and Candy. Tragically, Shane passed away in his childhood. In the early 2000s, they moved back to Fort Sumner, New Mexico. Once they lived in Fort Sumner, they started a hamburger stand. AJ, Virginia, and Kenny Sr. all helped with the hamburger stand.
Eventually, their children grew up and started families of their own. In 1982, their youngest daughter, Candy, welcomed a son, Aaron, followed by a daughter, Candy Joe.
Virginia and AJ were thrilled to be grandparents. They loved having their family around them, and Virginia loved having everybody there in her home for every holiday.
But Candy struggled with motherhood.
Candy Sr. tried to maintain the relationship with Aaron, Candy Joe's father. That didn't work out. He was not involved whatsoever. In the 90s, Candy started to also struggle with addiction. Candy Sr. had some demons, and she really truly didn't know what a healthy relationship was with his grandparents, AJ and Virginia.
Don't go there.
Candy lived with her mother off and on throughout her younger years, and when she wasn't living with her mother, AJ and Virginia provide a roof over their head.
Candy Joe flourished under the care of her grandparents.
She was the shining star of the family. Candy Joe, she wanted to play volleyball in college. She wanted to get a degree.
Aaron, on the other hand, battled his own demons, and he soon left his grandparents' home.
Aaron always kind of been the wild one.
Aaron was always getting into trouble with the law. He had been caught raping and murdering, and it was always a worry to Candy. She never fully trusted him.
As Aaron slipped away, Candy Joe's mother entered recovery and came back into her life.
Candy Sr. was very proud of Candy Joe. She was thankful for how she could do no wrong. In those preteen and teen years, Candy Joe and Candy Sr. started developing a relationship, a better relationship than they had when she was a child.
In 2012, Candy Joe graduated from high school. With her family's support behind her, she was poised for success.
She had a full ride to the University of Southwest.
Snack time. Grape, cheese, and a little bread. I love
But in the middle of her
cheeses
freshman
and
year,
my grape.
Candy Joe's world came crashing down when her mother passed away from a sudden illness. She took a break from school and returned to her grandparents' home on Lake Fort Sumner.
Despite her doing all these correct things and following through, life kept taking things away from her.
Back in Fort Sumner, Candy Joe caught the eye of 27-year-old Sean Perkins.
We met at a rodeo there in Fort Sumner. But we kind of developed
Yeah,
a relationship
let me
through
get
our life goals. We didn't know our place in life quite yet, and we kind of tried to figure that out with each other. AJ and Virginia are very kind and generous. They welcome me and my family. Once me and Candy Joe started dating, it wasn't too long before we moved in with each other. And Kenny and I learned that we're having a child kind of unexpectedly, and we let family know. And AJ and Virginia were very excited. So were my parents.
But what should have been a joyous time soon turned tragic in the spring of 2016.
AIDS started creeping up on AJ, and Virginia had Crohn's disease, and she was a little older. After Candy got pregnant, the sole person in the family, AJ was heartbroken, but he was very spiritual, that he knew that this wasn't going to be the last that he's going to see her.
Another blow came following the birth of Candy Joe's daughter in 2016, when AJ was diagnosed with cancer.
Candy Joe would spend the majority of her time taking care of her daughter and her grandfather.
Eventually, the pressure proved to be too much for the couple.
Candy started pushing us away. She shifted into the party crowd. It felt like her interest wasn't being involved anymore at the time. And the void between us just grew.
By 2019, the relationship was beyond repair.
I packed up both me and my daughter. I thought it would be in the best interest for me to get custody due to me being the stable one. She agreed.
mother moved in together a couple of towns over from Fort Sumner, while Candy Jo returned to the home of her grandfather.
She did mention his health and how it was declining, and Candy didn't know how much longer she was going to have with him.
She would help him clean, cook. AJ was very, very happy that she was there.
But on October 15th, 2020, it appears AJ's end has come sooner than expected when his potential remains are found in a trash pit. Given that the body had likely been there for weeks, the chances of finding anything useful are slim.
When you're doing a crime scene, you never really know what is exactly important, so you're taking pictures of everything and you're looking at everything.
We did see a trailer there, and on that trailer had a flat tire. We didn't know whether this has something to do with the investigation or it doesn't. We thought, was this the trailer that was used to haul out the tool chest? But the minute that we saw the trailer, it just looked like anything else. But at the same time, it was still out of place for us.
Investigators turned to the family of Chad Abeda, the man who found the body and lives on the property. While Chad did not witness the trailer's arrival, he says his son did.
Weeks ago, he had observed a white pickup truck hauling a trailer, and they left the trailer there. He was unsure of whoever was driving the white pickup truck. The trash was accessible to anyone that knew it was back there, but it was not visible from the road. One of the questions that I asked the beta is, did everybody have access to, if they do have access, they have to get permission from the homeowner.
The boy's mother chimes in. She tells investigators there is one name that comes to mind: Aaron Hardin.
She told us that if one of the residents would allow Aaron Hardin to go there, then the handyman per se clean the property up and allowing him access to the pit at any time. After learning about Aaron Hardin, Michael talked to one of the deputies who was still on scene and asked him who is Aaron Hardin. Turns out that Aaron Hardin is he's a local. He does have his run-in with law enforcement every now and then, and that's when he told me AJ Hardin was Aaron's grandpa.
Coming up, the search for Aaron Hardin proves difficult.
He decided to take off. Was he fleeing from us?
And in an unexpected twist, is AJ Hardin actually alive?
We're completely shocked. Was that AJ's at the tool chest, or was he in a retirement home?
After finding a toolbox containing human remains in a makeshift dump site, New Mexico authorities believe they may belong to 84-year-old AJ Hardin.
In the front pocket of the shirt was a doctor's card. Said next day appointment with the name of AJ Hardin.
Investigators learned that AJ's 38-year-old grandson, Aaron Hardin, is known to use the trash pit.
Aaron Hardin had dumped trash there previously. He did chores there.
Is he the one that placed the trailer up there? Is he the one that took the tool chest up there? That was a lead.
After locating Aaron's last known address, investigators head to his home.
We met with the man who was the owner of the residence who lived with Aaron. We told him we were looking for Aaron, and he told us that he wasn't there, that he was currently in Arizona. Did he decide to take off? Well, he fleeing from us.
In the midst of trying to track Aaron down, they get an update from the autopsy.
They could not determine the cause of death due to the fact that the body was so deteriorated.
However, the ME is closer to confirming the victim's identity.
The doctor did observe a hip replacement. His hip replacement had a serial number on it.
While awaiting confirmation from medical records, investigators work off the assumption that AJ Hardin is the victim. The day after the autopsy, they reach out to the owner of the rental property where the body was found.
The residence was actually owned by a lady named Brenda Moyer, but she was renting it out to the Abetas. And so investigators went to speak with her.
I asked Brenda who's AJ Harding, and she said that AJ Harding was a very nice man. He's an older man. He's the grandpa to Candy Joe Webb and Aaron Harding. Brenda Moyer described Aaron to be a very nice guy. He helps her out around the house. He helps her throw out trash into that pit.
And that's not the only connection she makes for detectives.
Her son, Sean Perkins, had a daughter with Candy Joe Webb.
Investigators asked to speak with Sean. Sean tells detectives that he and Candy Joe used to live in the home where the body was found and that Aaron often used the dump.
We all kind of viewed Aaron. He was a loose cannon, if you will. It wasn't unusual for him to be gone for a period of time.
When they ask Sean about AJ, he says that he and Candy Joe had a very special relationship.
AJ unconditionally loved her. He was very happy that he was around his granddaughter.
Sean reveals that a couple of months prior, in late August, Candy Joe made a difficult decision regarding her grandfather's care.
Candy texted me asking me it would be a bad idea for my papa or AJ to go to a home. I told her that it's between you and him. So I texted her one day, asked her, did you send AJ to a home? And she told me, yes, I did.
You're completely shocked. AJ is at the tool chest, or was he in a retirement home? Where is he? At that point, we wanted to interview Candy.
Investigators place a call to Candy Joe on the spot. She agrees to meet them at Brendan's and arrives shortly after.
Okay, so you gotta know where you came, or
What they told me is that the body was found.
we asked her if she knew who the person that was found inside that toolbox was. She told us she did not. Do you have any idea who would want to drop the body off up there or anything like that?
I remember the Rachel saying that my brother had gone to like 2 or 3 weeks ago and threw stuff in the bed and didn't tell Brendan. When asked about her brother Aaron, she talks about how he is always in trouble. He doesn't directly say that deed is in my name now. It has been for years. The reason that she said she did the no trespass order is they just weren't getting along and she didn't want him around the property or her daughter.
She was worried about him taking advantage of AJ and maybe even her.
Detectives ask Candy Joe about her grandfather.
Where's AJ at?
And he was there. I didn't talk to him about him run.
She stated that she had placed AJ Harding in a retirement facility. She's not finding the list.
Candy Joe says the facility is about 6 hours away, but she can't recall the name. As they wait for Candy Joe to find the name of the nursing home, investigators look into the no trespass order she took out on Aaron.
She was very protective of AJ. He was that parental figure that she never really got.
They find body cam footage from multiple visits to the lake house in the months prior, including an arrest over the summer for an unrelated charge.
He was there to serve with a simple misdemeanor arrest warrant. He knocked on the door. Someone opened the door and ended up being Mr. H. Martin. We learned that Aaron was still living there at that time. Don't come by me. Are you sure? Aaron kicked the door. He was extremely cooperative. So, the reason why we're here, we got a lot of friends, okay? So we have to take you in. During the course of arresting Aaron, Lieutenant Gunn asked AJ how he was doing, and AJ told him he was doing good.
We know for a fact in September of 2020 that AJ was alive and
They all just had to pee, right? Yeah.
When he was picked up on that arrest warrant, Scrub even gave him some money before he left.
On August 21st, Candy Joe took out the no trespass order. But records show that in the following week, he continued to show up at AJ's lake house where he was met by police.
To follow you there, Snowbird. He was trying to make contact with his grandfather. Well, that's what I'm after.
In an attempt to meet, the officer places a call to Candy Joe, but she doesn't back down.
Get pissed off. She goes, well, he has his telephone number. He can call him when he's good and ready to call him. That's all she would tell him. She was a bitch, huh? When AJ kind of got diagnosed with cancer, and it was apparent at the end of his coming, he did his house over to Candy Joe because she was kind of the one family member that was stable. We were still trying to make contact with him. We know that Candy doesn't want nobody to know to his yard, and we're still trying to find out the reason why. At this point, we'll phone one person.
Is that Appa bothering my Lulu?
Yeah, she's fighting back.
She is?
Yeah.
She started doing that lately, yeah. Mm-hmm.
A potential suspect hands over the lead.
Oh God!
No.
Did he? Oh. Woo! Aqua.
New Mexico authorities have
Was it?
located
I don't know.
a
It's
human
Aqua.
being in a trash can. While they suspect they belong to 83-year-old AJ Harden, his granddaughter claimed that AJ was safe and sound.
Candy Joe explained to detectives that she had taken her grandfather to a facility in Texas.
As authorities anticipate a call from Candy Joe with the name of the facility, they also await word from the medical examiner for the body's official ID. Meanwhile, Aaron Harden is unaccounted for.
Investigators know that there's one person they still need to talk to, and that's Aaron. But they still needed to confirm whose body was in the toolbox.
Eager for answers, investigators reach back out to Candy Joe on October 20th.
And I was just going with that information you're requesting.
Yes, apparently one of my brothers and sisters
No, I mean, no, it's okay. I know, but I'm not going to.
You said you were donkey flavor.
Did you recall what the name was?
No, but it's kind of going to keep on.
Okay, sure.
The radar here.
There we go.
He'll take anywhere. So, again, that was another red flag for us. At this point, Candy Webb's looking like our suspect.
With this new discovery, suspicions around Candy Joe are mounting by the second. Then, on October 21st, 6 days into the investigation, officials receive much-awaited news regarding the remains.
They received a call from the officer.
Oh, great. I'll take this.
I don't have a base. I don't have a base at all. This is the only thing I have.
Keep the identification to themselves, but use it to obtain a search warrant for the lake house where AJ was last known to live with Candy Joe. The search turns up no new evidence, but does inspire another phone call from Candy Joe.
Agent Villarreal received a telephone call from Candy Webb. She was informed why there was a search warrant. You think you can meet with the state police so we can talk about it?
Is it okay if I get in contact with my lawyer and just have them there with me?
That's fine.
Webb had a new relationship, a new boyfriend by the name of Gary. She didn't want to come in without an attorney to speak. So on the same day, we decided that we were going to locate Gary B.
On October 22nd, detectives arrive at the Bean residence.
So you're relative with Gary B? So you kind of say you know why we're here? Well, that's also you guys are telling me more about it, so I'm kind of in the gray on this.
They ask him about AJ, but his response is unexpected.
Your grandpa? Your grandpa? Yeah. He passed. I don't know he passed. She told me. Candy Webb had told him that H.R. Martin had died in his sleep a couple months back. Okay, I'm pretty sure I've been lying to you. We disclosed A.J. Harding did pass away, but it's not the way Candy Webb told him he passed away. A.J. Harding's death had tool chest. I realized it was a lot more serious than I could have imagined, and I felt dumb at that point. I was just very blindsided. Thinking it was really good.
Following the interview, investigators release confirmation of
Both me and my mother were in disbelief of it all. We didn't understand what was going on.
the news does prompt an unexpected phone call.
Aaron Harding finally contacts me. Aaron said he was currently in Arizona. So, I'm pretty sure you know what's going on. Okay. He learned that it was possibly his grandfather. I did tell him yes, it's true. Did you have any issues with your granddad?
He tells investigators that the real reason Candy Joe had the no trespass order issued was because he confronted her about stealing from AJ.
They learned that Aaron and AJ shared a bank account. The day that Aaron received a no trespass notice, he had discovered that Candy Joe Webb had been writing hot checks using the joint account that he shared with his grandfather.
Aaron says Candy Joe obtained the no trespass order so he couldn't tell AJ. But investigators now wonder if it was because AJ was already dead.
Have you ever seen a big toolbox around the property? Toolbox? Was that your grandpa's house? When we executed the search on the residence days prior, we didn't see a tool chest there. So we were fairly confident that we at least established the origin of where the tool chest came from. We just felt like Aaron Harding was not involved, just based on his interview, based on the way he was explaining the love for his grandpa, how detailed he was.
There's just more evidence piling up that this was Candy Joe Webb who killed her grandfather.
Coming up, a concerned source comes forward with a shocking new claim.
She told me that he had asked her to do it.
With her back against a wall, will Candy Joe tell the truth?
How did you say that? It was one of them. I mean, but it wasn't. And then
Days after discovering the remains of A.J. Hardin, detectives have zeroed in on his granddaughter, Candy Joe Webb, as their main suspect. The day after his...
Gary wanted to give another interview with us to establish that he wasn't involved.
Garrett and his attorney meet with investigators on October 26th. Garrett says that following his first interview with police, he met with Candy Joe at a local hotel. Candy Jo tells that she drugged AJ. Garrett now believes Candy Jo called him in late August as she was disposing of the body.
While she was, disposing of trash, she did FaceTime because the tire had blown out on the trailer. I told her, wait for me, I'll help you. But she was very adamant about just getting it done right then. Once Gary told us that now we knew that she used that trailer to hold the tool chest with AJ's remains in there, to dump it out.
Investigators believe Garrett.
Coming forward with the information that he had, at that point we felt like he wasn't involved. He was part of Candy Webb's lies like everybody else was, and we cleared him.
With Garrett's statement, authorities have what they need.
We're now confident that Candy murdered AJ, therefore we have set out an arrest warrant for her on October 28th.
But when they attempt to serve it, Candy Jo is nowhere to be found.
Candy was no longer in the area. At that time, Sergeant Hernandez reached out to the U.S. Marshals for assistance.
Investigators seize phone and financial records to reconstruct Candy Jo's movements.
I was able to get a search warrant for her cell phone and started pinging in different places in Roswell, Texas. From then, she went to McAllen, Texas, where she sold her grandfather's truck. We saw she was using a prepaid debit card at the time. Then she bought a Greyhound ticket to go to Jacksonville, Florida.
For 7 days, authorities stay one step behind until she arrives in Jacksonville. Through her credit card charges, U.S. Marshals pinpoint the location where Candy has decided to hold up.
That radius is around a local criminal.
On November 5th, 2020, less than a month after the discovery of her grandfather's body, U.S. Marshals make their move.
Everybody's laying down now.
One of the hotel rooms. So they followed her to a nearby convenience
Get up
store
and
gas
put
station.
just a little tad bit more lipstick on
Deputy Marshal that arrested
so
her
I can look presentable.
that she
And
had
yes, I'm in my PJ.
she was
Up
already
here.
convicted.
Yeah.
On December 1st, 2020, officers Hernandez and Villarreal interview Candy Jo in the Tobacco County Adult Detention Center.
How did this happen? What did it happen?
It was an accident. Everything afterwards, somebody did, but it was an accident.
Instead of passing AJ's death off as a mercy killing, Candy Jo now says it was an accident.
Okay. His head's back from hurting. Had those CCMs. And also relaxers, and I gave them to him, but it wasn't. I didn't try it, and I didn't give you that. Steve, well, I think I was out. But I keep snatching with it. No.
When I asked Candy why did she tape AJ's mouth and wrist, she told me because she didn't want to look at his face when she was moving him. And taping his hands was the easiest way to move AJ.
But investigators aren't buying it.
Hey, you're on that AJ, you think you got a snack right there, Lola?
No, it's not. That looks like that. That's what she said.
It's just too many lies from the start of the investigation.
I know. It looks so delicious. It does. Horrible. It was awful. I didn't try. It was a relief. Oh my God.
Coming up, Candy Jo hasn't run out of tricks.
They want to do an insanity defense.
The callous truth comes out.
You understood everything that she probably still competed at the time.
The arrest of 27-year-old through the tiny town of Fort Sumner, New Mexico.
We didn't know where she was, what she was going to do, how was she going to act. So when she was caught, there was somewhat of a feeling of closure.
Sean is in for another shock. 3 days after the arrest, he gets a letter from Candy Joe.
The letter stated that she didn't feel empathy for anyone, that she isn't just a psychopath, and that I need to protect my daughter from people like her.
He turns the letter over to investigators. Prosecutors believe it's a ploy.
Often you will see defendants do this because they're trying to set themselves up for the ability to have a defense of insanity.
Confirming their suspicions, Candy Joe's attorneys request a psychological evaluation.
They want to get her evaluated, and we were too close to trial, and they hadn't followed the rules, in my opinion, and I argued against it, and the judge agreed with me and said, no, we are going to trial.
As they prepare for trial, prosecutors work with investigators to formulate what they believe happened when AJ was murdered. They determined that no one had seen AJ since Candy filed a no trespass order against Aaron on August 21st.
The time that we built was more or less that August 21st weekend is where she might kill him. Ultimately, she did drug him to the point where he passed out. She told us she was covering his mouth with duct tape. He must have been breathing and she probably suffocated. At that point, she needed to get the body out of the residence. So at that point, she ended up taping up AJ's hand. And she put him inside the tool chest, placed it on the trailer, and days later drove him out there and threw him in that pit.
Tired of caring for her ailing grandfather, Candy Joe was looking for a fresh start. She hoped to get that by selling the lake house.
Candy was talking to realtors to try and put the house on the market. I think it was purposely done for monetary gain because she has a new boyfriend. They're going to have a bank full of money, Agent Harden's money.
I always thought that was a very sad deal. She was supposed to be taking care of him, yet she just got tired of him. But about a week before,
Eddie.
and when I talked to the
That's what he does all the time.
they didn't want her to go to jail at all. My understanding was she convinced them that this was an accident, and they really believed her. So after talking with the family, and due to the fact that the body was so deteriorated, there was no way to determine whether it was an accident or whether it was intentional. So because of those facts, I decided to go ahead and accept the plea.
On July 27, 2022, Candy Joe pleads guilty to second-degree murder, fraud, and tampering with evidence.
So out of the 21 years possible, she received 18 of those.
With good time, she may be out in 12 years. I don't feel that 12 years would be enough for someone that did something so atrocious.
While the small town of Fort Sumner still reels from Candy Joe's cold-hearted actions, AJ's memory remains alive.
AJ was a good, kind-hearted man that experienced 10 lives in his one lifetime. He deserved more than what he got. He's lost children, he's lost his wife, he's lost friends, but he maintained a happy and spiritual demeanor, as well as being